Several hours later, I made my way to another graveyard a few miles distant. There's not a living soul at this one when I arrive, just row upon row of identical white headstones. Here at Camp Butler National Cemetery are buried more than 1,000 Civil War dead, mostly men who died of disease under miserable conditions at the nearby training camp and military prison, or are equal beneath the clean-cut marble slabs. Officers and privates, black men and white, Northerners and Southerners, too. For here are hundreds of Confederate prisoners, Texas cavalrymen, Arkansas infantrymen, teenage boys from Tennessee and Alabama, stranded far from the soil they fought to defend. Many of the stones bear no names, but most have dates. I begin to notice an unusual number from the spring of 1865. Perhaps an epidemic swept the camp then. There's a whole section from the first week or two of April, including a few dated April 14th and 15th, the same time as the assassination in far-off Washington. One of these is for a soldier of the U.S. colored troops. If the choice were mine, Lincoln too would rest here, side by side with such comrades, among the thickly clustered ranks of these honored dead. Henry and Mahesha Langstreth dressed their one-year-old son, Marley, in Brooklyn. Race relations have progressed since Lincoln abolished slavery. Though more than 100 years passed before laws criminalizing interracial marriage were struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. These men asked for the same thing, fairness and fairness only. This is so far as in my power. They and all others shall have. Abraham Lincoln, letter, May 30, 1860. In Philadelphia, about a mile from the funeral route, Abdoulaye Ndiaye, whose family immigrated from Senegal, plays football for the Abraham Lincoln High School Rail Splitters. Some 200 American towns and cities and more than 600 schools are named in memory of the 16th U.S. President. Lincoln, his face wears the struggles of a nation. It is a face handsome and homely, sorrowful and mirthful, penetrating and opaque. Amid the contradictions stamped into nearly 500 billion pennies is one truth. Abraham Lincoln's face is unforgettable, but it is a visage that we, 150 years after his death, will never truly know. Lincoln's personal secretary, John G. Nicolay, described the long gamut of expression from grave to gay, and back again from the rollicking jollity of laughter to that serious, faraway look that with prophetic intuitions beheld the awful panorama of war, and heard the cry of oppression and suffering. Perhaps this is why Nicolay wrote, "There are many pictures of Lincoln. There is no portrait of him." 1860. The first portrait of Lincoln by famed photographer Matthew Brady became the basis of widely disseminated campaign posters. Less than 9 months after this portrait was made, Lincoln was elected to the White House. Lincoln, the politician, understood the power of a portrait. As this gallery shows, he sat for many during the last years of his life. In 1858, at age 49, Lincoln, the lawyer, top left in linen suit, argued and won his most celebrated criminal case. Later that year, he lost a second bid for the U.S. Senate. During the presidential campaign of 1860, an 11-year-old supporter urged candidate Lincoln to grow a beard. "For your face is so thin." He heeded the girl's advice, as seen in a photograph made almost 3 weeks after his election above. In subsequent portraits, Lincoln shows the mounting strain of leading a nation sundered by civil war. Early in 1865, he had his hair trimmed to keep it out of a plaster used to make his second and final life mask. Top row from far west. ca. 1846, born in poverty and raised to farm work, Lincoln, the rough-hewn rail splitter, had by age 37 become a prosperous lawyer in Springfield, Illinois. This daguerreotype made shortly after he was elected to the U.S. Congress is his earliest confirmed portrait. 1865, with the fearful strain that is on me night and day, said Lincoln, "If I did not laugh, I should die." Humor offered the president a brief respite from the pressures of his embattled administration. The heavy toll of those years is apparent in his portrait made less than 3 months before his fateful visit to Ford's Theater.